Well, look what's here. Let's see, we got the Hero 9, SD card. Let's go ahead and unbox this. Hey, what's up guys, Jerman here, Monster Gadgets. Welcome back. So right now we're gonna go ahead and unbox the GoPro Hero 9 Black. Take a look at it up close and compare it to the Hero 8 Black. And I'll kind of go over the key differences between the two and kind of give you an idea if it's worth the upgrade or not. So let's go ahead and start unboxing. All right, so it comes wrapped in this plastic. GoPro Hero 9 Black. 20 megapixel camera, 5K 30 plus 4K 60, 33 feet underwater, and 1080 live streaming. You've got all the features on the side, and of course it has been upgraded to the Hyper Smooth 3.0 from the 2.0, and we'll get into a little bit more of the differences in a bit here. It looks like I'm gonna go ahead and tear this up and unbox it. Does come in this nice case. Ta-da! Some paperwork. Subscribe to GoPro, instructions, product questions, and guide, I guess. Put that aside. We've got our USB cable, battery, mount adapter, or mount adapter mount, and your screw. Since this is a bundle version that I bought, it does come with a 32 gigabyte SanDisk card as well. And of course, here is the GoPro Hero 9 Black. Let's go ahead and take the plastic off. So satisfying. It never gets old to peel those off. All right, so it looks very similar to the GoPro Hero 8, but we'll go ahead and pull that aside and take a look at the two. I don't know what this is. There's a little cardboard piece or something. All right, the main thing, of course, being the screen in the front, which the older version did not have. So let's take a look at that real quick before we even turn this thing on. Let me grab the Hero 8. Here is the Hero 8, as you guys can see, and here is the Hero 9. And if you look at it side by side, here's the 8, here's the 9. Big difference there. So here's the 8, here's the 9. Let me get this case out of the way here. There you go. You've got the 8 on the right and the 9 on the left. So this is going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger, which I'm going to go ahead and believe. Unfortunately, the accessories probably won't work. Absolutely not, because there's that much of a difference in size. Take a look at that. That is quite a bit. So I doubt the older accessories for the 8 is going to work on the 9, which is kind of a bummer. GoPro, that was not a nice move, but before I jump to conclusions, let's power this thing on. So I'll go ahead and leave the 8 here. Let's take a look at the 9. We'll put the battery in and power it up, see what it's like. So you got your power button, very similar to the 8, still on the side with the mode. You've got your power button on the top on the 8 and the 9. Your battery compartment, same thing. And then your bottom, of course, your mounts are built in. The biggest difference physically being the screen itself. And thank you, GoPro, for doing this. you actually have a removable lens, which I believe you just turn this, turn this and it comes off just like that. So where on the 9, where on the 8 that was built in, and 8 was the only model that actually GoPro came out with where you could not take the lens off. So this is really nice because if it ever gets damaged, scratched, or things like that, you can simply, oh, let me put this back on. You could simply just replace the lens instead of replacing the whole unit. So GoPro, thank you for doing that. Just like that, it is back on. And so again, 8 built in, 9 removable. All right, let me go ahead and open this up. Cosmetically, everything looks about the same. I know I complained about this gap on the 8 when it came out, and unfortunately on the 9 looks like it's still there, as you guys can see. I personally just don't like that. I don't know why, it just looks weird. Like, why do you need to have this gap on top of it? But anyways, all right, let's put the battery in. Let's open this up, pop the battery in there. You still have the battery, the SD card, and your USB cable, and same here in the front. Speaking of which, I know the battery capacity is bigger on the 9, which of course it has a bigger battery as well. So before I even close this, let me give you guys a comparison between the two. So you've got your 8 here, your 9 here. As you can see, there's a huge difference between the battery size as well, which makes sense because it is a bigger battery on the 9. All right, so let's pop this back in here. Hopefully it's got a little bit of juice in it for us to power it on. There it is. Powering on, GoPro 9. All right, it's asking us to go ahead and select the language, English. By using GoPro, I agree to terms and conditions. Yes, I agree. I want GPS on. And of course, it says go ahead and install the GoPro app on your phone and finish your setup from there. So we'll go ahead and do that later. Continue. Skip setup for now. Date. It is. And there it is. So it's got 13% capacity. Obviously no SD card. And yeah, I do like this display. This is really sharp. And right now it looks like it's pretty responsive too. As you guys can see, I'm just kind of waving at it and my wave looks pretty real. All right, so that is the power on setup, unboxing of it. Now let's talk key differences between the Hero 9 and the Hero 8. All right, so as I mentioned, you've got the front-facing screen, which is of course the biggest selling point of the Hero 9, especially for someone who is going to be vlogging with this thing, which I'm not sure if it's going to be a huge benefit, but it's of course nice to have a look at it to make sure you are in the frame. I think people that mostly vlog with GoPros anyways, they automatically get used to just kind of centering it and capturing themselves, but this is a huge added plus. As you know, or might not know, DJI Osmo Action came out with this a year ago or so, so it's nice that GoPro finally caught up with it and incorporated it into their unit, which is really nice. So the removable lens and the screen being the physical difference between the two, outside of it being a larger unit, and you do have a bigger display in the back as well. So that is a huge added plus as far as physically the difference between the two. As I mentioned earlier as well, the battery capacity is much higher on the GoPro Hero 9 versus the Hero Black. I'll have to obviously test it to see how much of a difference there is based on what GoPro claims and what it actually holds up. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you go down, hit the subscribe button, make sure you give me a big thumbs up at this point too. Now let's talk about the key differences that are actually inside or software related differences between the two. So with the GoPro Hero 9, you do have something called hindsight. So the hindsight basically means that once you have the camera pointed somewhere and you hit the record button, it'll automatically record 30 seconds before you actually hit the record button, so you don't miss any action beforehand, which makes sense. It's kind of a cool feature. So if you are watching a game, for example, or you're recording some type of event and you want to capture something, by the time you hit the shutter button, it might be too late. In this case, you hit the shutter button, it actually records 30 seconds before you hitting this, and then of course moving forward until you stop recording. So that is really cool. and that is one of the new features in the Hero 9. Another new feature is the capture schedule and duration capture, which means that you can schedule a time for this thing to go on. So it starts recording at a certain time and stops recording at a certain time. That is a schedule capture. The duration is, of course, you set this camera somewhere, you hit record, you can set a duration of how long you want this to record for. So for example, if you are doing some type of a sunset or a sunrise, you hit record, you leave it, and you tell it to record for the next 10 minutes. It'll go ahead and record for the next 10 minutes and shut off, where in the previous version, you did not have the option to do that, which is really nice on the Hero 9. The other key upgrades, it does have Time Warp 3.0 and Hypersmooth 3.0, and the GoPro Hero 8 had a 2.0 version, so this is an upgrade. All right, let's talk accessories for a second. So as I mentioned earlier, because this is a different unit and because it's much bigger, you won't be able to use accessories like the housing, for example, that you might have had for the 8.0. You will have to buy new accessories for the Hero 9. And one accessory that they came out with that they have not actually released yet is the Hero 9 Max Lens mod. So this lens basically allows you to have a 155-degree field of view with this lens, and GoPro is claiming that you basically max out your stabilization and your field of view with this extra lens, which just costs $99.99 on their website, and you can currently go ahead and sign up for it. So when it comes out and it's available for sale, you would be the first one to purchase it. But it does add a lot more bulk to the Hero 9, as you can see in the picture here, as compared to the normal lens that it comes with. But I'm curious to see how this will work out. It does obviously, like I said, it does say it does max out the Hypersmooth for unbreakable video stabilization up to 2.7K at 60 frames per second, which is really nice. So that is basically the first look, unboxing, and quick setup of the GoPro Hero 9 and comparison to the Hero 8. I will, of course, go ahead and test this out side by side between the two cameras to really see if it's truly worth it or not. Personally, without actually running this thing, do I think it's worth the upgrade to the Hero 9 without even running it? It might be. If the screen is something that you value a lot and you want to be able to take a look at yourself while you're recording, it's a no-brainer. You certainly want to upgrade and purchase this. From a functionality standpoint, from a different standpoint in quality, I'll test it out and take a look at it. But if you are looking to pick one up, make sure you comment below, let me know why you're picking it up and what you're going to be using it for, and make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for my upcoming videos, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.